Aloha and good day, friends and yogis. I'm Nicole Spirit. I'm super grateful to be with you right now. Thank you for choosing this class. And it's simply called Aloha Everyday. This is my introduction to finding that spirit of love and light, almost like it's your birthday every day. So let's start with a standing position. Get somewhere situated on your yoga mat that feels really good. And we're gonna start with our feet about hip width apart. Let's raise up our toes and then just bring them down, maybe from the outside in, making a bit of space between the digits. And as you stand here in your mountain pose, Tadasana, start to consider how it feels when you plug in an electrical prong. So imagine at the bottom of your feet, you just literally slid these 2 or 3, the grounding cord as well, or the grounding prong, you just plugged into the earth, and all of a sudden it's like your radio is able to play whatever you want, versus having it with the plug undone. And then as you stand here, just start to imagine and consider that there's also electromagnetic energy that's coming to you from the top of your head. So imagining now that we are like looking at a camera lens on the top of our head, and we gently ask our crown chakra to open so that we get this beautiful conduit of energy between the earth, between the heavens and the sky, and we find that grounding place in our heart. And we maintain that beautiful balance and the connection to unconditional love. Let's just do a little bit of silk reeling. We're gonna take our hands and just start to wind and spiral at the wrists. Go one direction, then go the other way. And I want to see if you can create a smile. Think of it maybe starting from your heart or the inside out, and then gently softening and relaxing your face. Let's release the hands and then bring them up, fingers to the forehead, and we're just gonna press into our forehead. Just allowing some extra blood and vitality and life force to come into the frontal lobe of our brain, where we have our emotional and our limbic system connected here. Then we're gonna bring our fingers to the center of the mermaid, or the center of your chest, and you're gonna press your fingers into your sternum, which is the hard bone that's holding your ribs together. And this is actually activating an acupressure point known as CV17. So let's see if we can continue that smile. Maybe we have to force it, or maybe we have to spread a little gratitude around and find our aloha spirit, or if there's any other word that makes you feel alive and well and happy, start to think of that now. If you've been following my classes, you know that Puka Dog was needing some surgery, and we got some happy news yesterday that after surgery they managed to remove all of the yucky cells, and so she is now on her way to healing and mending, and she's doing great. So thank you so much. I'm just so overjoyed about that. So when I need to think about gratitude, I just think about my dogs. Now let's release the hands. Wherever you are, just wiggle your fingers a little bit. We're gonna pick up the right foot, and we're gonna just spiral around at our ankle a couple of times, go in each direction, really open up the bones of the foot, and then come back and go to the other side. I also have a brand new yoga mat. I'm so excited. It's actually the exact same as my last one, which will now live upstairs. And this one is really sticky. If you haven't already, go the other direction, and then gently we'll release both our feet. So it might make a bit of noise. All right, bend the knees a little bit here. We're gonna start to open the door of life. Swing your arms, open your spine here, and let your hands even pat into your body just a little bit. Now this one is sometimes, I won't say confusing, but it has a few different names. Opening heaven's door, opening the door of life, or the gate of life. We're talking about an area in the middle of our body, and we're getting some stimulation here as we do this nice spinal opening. Happy every day. And I'm not talking about forcing it. I'm just talking about that little drip of inspiration that maybe we get just once a day. Let's come back so our head is looking straight forwards, but keep spiraling so that your shoulder is directing right under your chin. We'll just do a couple more. Slow it down. Pause. Good. So mixing some Qigong and some yoga, we're going to take our hands and we're going to take the fingernails and rub them together. Rub, rub, rub. And you're going to notice when you do this, there's a heart facing right back at you. So rubbing the fingernails together is actually a really wonderful way to cultivate and create a connection to your chi, to your energy or your energetic body. Good. Then we're going to release. Another thing that we can do to make a chi ball or to feel an energy field in our hands is to rub your hands together. So rub, 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 create some warmth and friction, then rub up and down, and then make circles. Go in one direction and the other direction. And then we're going to pause, maybe even close your eyes and separate your hands about shoulder height or shoulder width. And then we're going to bring the hands gently back together, but don't quite touch the palms. You might even curl your fingers just a little bit, almost imagining that there's a thick, beautiful energy between your hands that we'll call healing energy, chi, prana, life force. If you don't feel anything, that's okay. Use your imagination, sense, or create a connection to this beautiful healing ball right between your hands. One more breath. Good. Then we're going to take this ball, bring it up over our head, and we're gently going to imagine that it's washing down over our whole body. So you've brought this beautiful ball of light and love and healing, and it just opened at the top of your head, and now it's spreading down through your entire being. Excellent. How are you feeling right now? I feel really good. I'm so grateful you're here. Let's make our way down to the mat now. We're going to arrive on our hands and knees to start. Bring your hands right under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And we're just going to do a gentle cat-cow motion here. So lower the belly, bring your head and your hips up, and then exhale. And we're going to round the spine up and tip the pelvis and the chin down. So you might be used to doing this a little bit more quickly. I want you to slow things down. See how you're feeling. And you might decide that you just want to keep a flat back today too. Maybe we bump the hips from side to side. If your knees are bothering you, you can always double up your mat under your wrists or your knees. Good, come back to center. And then ever so gently, we're just going to look up between our hands, and we're going to bring our right foot up. So you're coming into a nice little lunge stretch here. So this might be enough for you today. You can also just push a little bit forwards so that you get a bit of a deeper opening between the thighs. And then we're going to lift the hands up to this first front thigh. See how this feels. If you want more today, take your arms up. And we're going to even maybe make goalpost arms. So bend at the elbows and open the heart right up to the heavens, to the sky, to the universe. Good. Bring your arms back up wherever you are. Paint them down in front of you. And then we're simply going to stretch back into a runner's stretch. So start to straighten through your front knee, not all the way. And you might even flip your toes up. So you can stay here, you can lower down a little bit, or you can even have some blocks so that you're raised up. And make sure it's comfortable. Then gently we're going to roll back forwards. And while we're here, we're going to gently walk our foot, our right foot, to the left side, and we're going to fold it at the knee, and come into a pigeon pose. So see how this feels for you. You can always put a block or a towel under your right hip, and just notice if we're storing any tension in the hips. Maybe you do a gentle sway from side to side. There's two crows outside on the hydro wire and they're talking. They're literally having a morning conversation. It's really dear. Then let's lower our hands down. See how that feels. Come into this nice reclined pigeon, and you've got options. You can keep your elbows bent. You can stack the fists and rest your forehead. And another option is to simply release your arms out in front of you. I feel super smart today because I put a little bit of lavender on my new mat to anoint it, and it just smells really, really good. Lavender is the flower that represents our crown chakra. Good, let's start to walk it back now. We're gonna release. So we think about the color purple. We think about that camera lens that's opened at the crown of our head and how we're allowing for that beautiful spirit to come through our whole body. Again, just picture a radio that you've plugged in and maybe now you're even playing music. Walk your left leg in. Bring your right toes out and slide that right knee back. And here's a great place to just be for a couple moments. If you're finding this is bothering your wrists or arms, maybe you lower onto the forearms for a little variation. Nice deep breath. Let's come back up on our hands. We're gonna look forwards, take a deep breath, and then bring your left foot forwards. You can also use your hand to help bring it up between your two palms. All right, so see how this feels. You can stay raised on your fingertips, flat down. You can bring two blocks or books under your hands. And we're gonna stay in this front lunge. So I'm gonna walk my back leg out a little bit more. And then if it's available, you can bring your hands up onto the thigh. Another place is to bring your hands onto the low back. See how this feels. Last variation, bring the arms up. Ignite through your core, your belly. It's like you're doing up that zipper in the front of the body. And then if it's available, goalpost arms. So bend at your elbows. Open your heart to the sky, to the possibilities, to happy every day. Then we're gonna bring our arms back in front, paint a wall down in front of you. And then we're gonna sit back. So bringing that left leg to straighten a little bit. Maybe you raise up on the toes, you breathe, you smile, you soften everything. And always know that you can make any variation you need to in any pose to find more comfort, grace, support. So bring yourself back, come back into your lunge, and then we're gonna transfer right to pigeon. So take your hands a little forwards, walk your foot to the right side of your mat, and then gently we're gonna release that knee down. So you can have a bend in your knee that's very deep, or keep it a little bit closer with your foot in. Once you've found your position, flex at the ankle. Make sure that you feel comfortable, and again, always having an option to bring a block on under this left hip. And see how you feel here. We can stay up for a moment. You might even play, draw your foot up, lower it down, and then see if it feels nice to do a reclined pigeon today. So we're finding our aloha every day, our kindness, our love, our joie de vivre, our joy for life. And I brought a book with me today, Lemurian Seeds, Hope for Humanity. And I wanted to share number 7 with you. So wherever you are, let's think about coming back up ever so gently. We're going to push the ground away. Arrive back in your pigeon pose. And then slowly we'll walk our right leg forwards. Left foot turns out, left knee slides back, and we're gonna have a nice wide knee stance now for our child's pose. So start to sink the hips back, and you've got some variations here. You can always stack your fists again, or cross your forearms, rest your forehead. And another variation is to straighten the arms right to the mat. So while you're in your child's pose, I will share with you the Lemurian crystal key number 7. You are positive and happy, and by being that way, you spread this joy to others who are around you. Your loving ways are spread through this field to others who you meet and interact with on a daily basis. You will not always know how your presence is affecting those. You just need to know that you do affect others. By showing them the way, by sharing possibility for happiness and peace with them, you are spreading it throughout the world. Be it and allow others to imitate it. And this is a book that has 12 keys that were channeled by Shelley Bear from a crystal, from a Lemurian seed crystal. Good, wherever you are, start to raise back up. And then before we finish, let's just lean our whole body over to the right. Walk your hands to the right and then lean back a little bit with the hips. Come back up, go to center, go to the left, and lean down. Good, nice side body stretch here. Come back to center, and we're going to gently roll onto our back, and then we're gonna make our way down to the floor. So plug in the feet like you've got that electrical prong still, and it just maybe came out of the wall a little bit, and you wanna reestablish it. And we've got the strength that goes up the legs, and especially in the core, so that when we release down, we don't crash. We're gonna take at least 2 breaths, maybe even 3, to lower your spine all the way to the earth. Once you arrive, let's straighten out the legs and arms. Keep your breath going. And we're gonna do one last thing that's really silly and really wonderful. So let's bring the knees up, and we're gonna bring the arms up, and we're gonna shake like a beetle stuck on its back. So start to open up the wrists and the ankles, get into the knees and the elbows, and then into the shoulders and the hips a little bit. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Imagine your radio is unplugged from the wall, it's just lying there, and it's on its back, it's flipped over. Good. And then release the feet down, bring the hands together at your heart, and we're going to gently notice how we feel. If you like, straighten your legs long. Take a nice deep breath. And at this time, let us decide if we would like a longer Shavasana or meditation, or if this was good for our happy Aloha Everyday. Let's take 3 deep breaths into the heart. If you want to activate your intuition and your psychic abilities, you might float your hands up to the third eye, to the middle of the forehead. One more deep breath. So wherever you are, floating back into your body for just a moment, And we'll ask that all beings be relieved of their suffering. May we dwell together with great peace and harmony, and the light in me greatly honors and sees the light in you. I wish you a wonderful day today, an excellent sleep tonight, restful and calming, and then a wonderful aloha, happy day tomorrow. Namaste.